What you expose them to first determines what they experience next. Said it. She's expecting great physio. She will find great physio. If you go on a review site and see a hotel that's 3 out of 5, you will experience a hotel that's 3 out of 5. So as you open up, I guess, in 2017, the basics need to be, you need to go back to the basics. Answering machine messages, there will be people who've left messages on there on a Saturday night at 8 o'clock or Sunday morning at 10 and said, could you call me back? And if we take for granted that we can call them at even 10 o'clock, you can call them back at 10, right? And this is the way I used to explain it. You can call them back at 10 and they will be very grateful that you've called them back at 10 o'clock. Or you can call them back at 9 o'clock and blow their socks off that they were #1 priority on a Monday. If you call somebody back, like if you rang me at 10, 10:45 on a Monday, I know that I'm probably the 12th priority of that morning. Yes or no? Now I don't think that, I feel it. And I kind of know it's like, yeah, well, I was expecting you to call me at 10, 11. And you'll always get as well, this is what's interesting about human beings. Even human beings that you rang at 11 o'clock and you said, I'm really sorry, Betty, and I know you've been struggling with a bad back all week, but we've just had some paper around with this morning and we're just getting around to calling you now. Betty will go, oh, it's okay, love. I know you're busy. Won't she? So then guess what goes on? The staff member thinks that it's all right to start calling patients at 11 o'clock because even Betty, who you're calling at 11 o'clock, says it's all right. Does Betty really mean it? Or is she just pandering to you?
Betty's just polite.
Betty's being polite, right? So now we have a up situation where everybody's calling everybody back at later times of the day or not prioritising as well as they should be, because nobody wants to have a confrontation. So we can do that, but we also know that's what the competition's doing. They're screwing around with their shutters and paper and God knows whatever else, and then getting around to ringing patients at 11 o'clock after the kettle's boiled 3 times. And Betty thinks that's all right, so everybody thinks it's all right. Or we can ring Betty at 9:01 and say, hey, you know what? There is a list as long as my arm of stuff to do today. The boss is shouting at me, the heating's not even on, the kettle hasn't even finished boiling, the emails are still coming in to this day, and the shutters are not even all the way up, but I've made this call to you at 30 seconds past 9 o'clock. How do you feel? Brilliant. Special. Incredible. Like I'm about to do business with a company that gives a f***. The game's won. What's the price? Don't matter. How many sessions? Don't matter. Do you need orthotics? Cool. Great. No problem. Everything changes from that point with that person. You get it? And they'll never tell you that. They'll never ever tell you. They'll never go, oh, so thank you. They'll probably give you a, oh, thanks for getting in touch with me. I wasn't expecting you to call me till 11. They'll probably will actually come out and say that, I didn't expect you to call me back this quick. Why is that? Well, because everybody else I deal with probably has a cup of coffee, you know, puts the heating on, screws around, gets the hoover out, gets the duster and the pledge and everything else going, and then decides to actually do the thing that keeps the whole thing in business. So for me, I think that's a big thing as you move into 2017, as you open up the clinic. The #1 thing is, as you go through the day, how can you surprise and delight? And it's actually pretty simple in this world. If you always think, oh, I'll do this and then I'll call, what's the phrase? When, then, is basically ruling most people's lives. Your whole life is dedicated by, when I've done this, then I'll do that. When I've hit this, then I'll go there. When I've done this, then I'll do that. When I put the kettle on, then I'll call that patient. When I finish this, then I might do what I really need to do. When I've just finished watching this TV, Harry, then I'll read you the story. When this TV show ends, son, then we'll go for a walk. Like, it's our whole life. Everybody, parents, employees, bosses, whatever. So for you, it's important to see that, and again, put the focus back on the patients, where what can you do every single day to surprise and delight? And it is honestly as simple as a call within 3 minutes of an answer machine message, a response to an email from a patient. If you go through that all them emails, and you know there's going to be however many off companies, however many spam, however many whatever, you're looking for every 20 emails, there'll be 3 from patients who've made inquiries. That's your eyes are literally just focused in on that. And instead of going, oh great, we've got a response, I'll call them in an hour, I'll ring them in an hour. What can we do to even just send them an email that says, I've got it, seen it, picked it up, got to get this done or whatever, or we're finishing this task, but we'll be on to you within 3 seconds, like in the next 4 or 5 minutes. And sometimes that, again, just tells them that somebody's there. I do it all the time. Like over Christmas, people were emailing me or messaging me through Facebook, and I would regularly go, I physically have not got the time, and it's the wrong place right now for me at Christmas to be in a space of mind and with my family to be answering this question, because it needs me to sit down for 20 minutes and think strategically about the answer that you're asking me. But that doesn't mean I'm going to ignore you for 4 days until I'm back at work. That means I'm going to send you a response going, I've got your message. When I'm in the right place, in terms of my thinking, and in my seat at a desk where I can strategically work out your question and think through all of the likely scenarios, I'll answer it for you. And I'd get one back going, wow, thanks. Because normally it would be lost. It would be left for 4 or 5 days. So that's often what I try to do with a lot of stuff. I'm not in a place right now to answer it, but I've acknowledged you. Now, don't be wrong, I don't do it every single time. If it's 24 hours or 48 hours, then, you know, and the context is right, then I'll do that. But in a patient scenario where they're looking for appointments, where they're, you know, I was going to say they're in pain, but most of the time they're not. They're in psychological pain where they've made the decision that they want to get this thing sorted. Once they've made the decision to sort it, all of a sudden their pain increases by about 20 to 30%. That's something to factor in with all these patients. You work out how many months typically these patients come to see you before they've come to see us? Ages, right? It's like when you get tooth pain, right? You've lived with tooth pain for months or weeks. Then all of a sudden you decide that the pain's bad enough and you need to go, and you can't get in for 3 days, and it's like the worst 3 days of your life. Yes or no? But you've lived with the same pain for 4 months, or 3 weeks, or 4 weeks. It's because you now have made the decision that you want it, you're paying more attention to it. Because you're paying more attention to it, you feel it more. Same with patients. They've waited 4 months to make a decision to go and see a physio, to make the decision to go and see one. Can't get in for 3 or 4 days, or the sod doesn't answer the phone. It's like, I knew I should have done this 3 weeks ago. So their frustration's getting heightened, their pain levels get heightened because they're paying more attention to the pain, because it's the thing that they're thinking about. So you've got a cocktail mix of frustration and pain, and all of a sudden it's very easy to get irate and quite angry customers. So even just to go, hey, we've acknowledged you, we've seen you, we've heard you, we know that you're there. I'm just going to send a quick reply. Morning, just walked through the door. I'll be on this as soon as I can. You know, check your phone in the next hour or so. Oh, nice one. Thanks, Paul. List as long as I'm getting through everybody in the order that they come in. I'm going to jump you to the front. Whatever. Say whatever you need to say to make them feel special. So the good habits, I think, need to be aware. And again, remembering through 2017 what's made this company so special, if you like, and why it does last no matter what, you know, what happens, and who comes, who goes in terms of staff or companies that we work with. It's always the focus is on the patient. And I think, to your credit, right now it's probably as good as we've ever had it. I could honestly tell you that, like easy. Which is why that scenario today, I'm not really asked what goes on and what happens. Like right now, it's as best it's ever been. So to credit to you 3 and 4 and whoever, Danny, for doing that. And I think, again, amazing things happen when you chuck people together. It's like One Direction. Like they were just chucked together, like they were just chucked together overnight, and all of a sudden you've got like the world's best boy band. So I think with you, it's yeah. With you, it's you know, you get chucked in and you don't get time to focus on anything other than just doing your job. And I think that's what's happened. It's like everybody had to just come in and get on with it quick, and that is so true of, again, how staff members can kind of fade in to the background and never really sometimes make an impact or never really be significant within the team because they didn't know how to get to the front of the, like, you know, like the third kid kind of comes along and he's always trying to, like, I don't know, get his, like, you know, yeah, he's trying to get like some attention. Yeah, he's always trying to get some attention, so then he can't get the attention, then he goes off and does sex, drugs and rock and roll and ends up in jail, you know, that type of thing. So I think it's the same with you, and again there's lessons to be learned on that of had you all come in the power of underneath the big personalities of Vicky and Becky and everybody is in, it's quite hard to make your way. But because there's like a clean slate, it's like, okay, there we go, like just crack on. So I do think right now the team spirit and the work ethic that we've got is the best. Like, and I said this to Vicky to her face, it's gonna be like fun watching everybody come back in. I'll be able to see a lot going on, like when I've had no issues, no sick days, nothing, like no hassle with staff, like whatever. All of a sudden when people start coming back, it's going to be very interesting to see the cocktail mix take place. Oh, it's great, man. It's great, it's fabulous. It's good. Yeah, it's good. What you expose them to first determines what they experience next. Said it. She's expecting great physio. She will find great physio. If you go on a review site and see a hotel that's 3 out of 5, you will experience a hotel that's 3 out of 5. Yes or no? If you find a review that says, you could stumble across the one review on that hotel that says 5 out of 10, I'm booking it. And you expect it to be 5 out of 10, you will find 5 out of 10. And then you leave the hotel and you say to somebody that you stayed in this hotel and go, it was crap, was it? Didn't you notice all of the like broken windows? Nope. Didn't you see the rats in the corner? No, I didn't see them either. I saw what I was looking for, which was 5-star hotel, which was whatever the review said. It had a gorgeous 36-inch plasma with 3D surround sound that you could watch, telly on as you got into bed, and the loveliest luxury robe that you could ever think of to put on in the morning when you wake up. That's what I wanted. So you're not looking for the rats anymore. You're not looking for the fact that the central heating bangs all night. Or you have a door in your room which connects you to another room with 2 screaming kids like mine at 4 o'clock in the morning that would normally piss you off because you got what you were looking for. You were exposed to a review that said this is a 5-star hotel with a gorgeous TV and a lovely robe. That's what you wanted. That's why you made the purchase decision. That's how you will leave the place. Fact. Bizarre. Human beings are unbelievably simple and easy to figure out. Complicated by idiots. complicated by people who try to run businesses. As a general rule. So for us, it's the same. What we expose them to first in terms of you guys in the customer service, the phone calls, the speed of the phone calls, the courtesy of the phone calls, the remembering of their names, the time that we spend on the phone calls, don't forget that. The longer you spend on those phones, easier it is for them. Longer you spend on those phones, the more that gets used. Never will back down on it. Watched it over 5 years. The longer you spend on the front end, easier it is for them. They're irrelevant. There's a reason I only spend 15 minutes with them. Skill, that's technical skill. You don't win on technical skill. They expect technical skill. I expect a nice coffee when I go in. I'm not going to walk out like all singing and all dancing because he's made me a hot coffee with no foam. That's what I expected. But I'm going to sing and dance when I walk in after 2 weeks and I haven't been in over Christmas, and he makes me the hot latte with no foam, and he asks how my kids enjoyed Christmas. How did Tobias enjoy his first Christmas? They get my business forever. Coffee can be cold the next day and I'll forgive him. It can probably be cold 3 or 4 days and I'll forgive him. 5, I might start to kick off. But I'll forgive him.